Well, that was pretty stupid of me. Souls gaming has passed. The new year of 2019 is upon us. From Software is sort of moving on from Dark Souls with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice in March, and last year Bandai Namco were still milking cash out of the IP with the remaster and repackaging of the trilogy. For Dark Souls fans though, the last few years have been exciting, where the remaster for the PC was pretty much a proper port of the game, at a pretty insulting launch price in comparison to other remasters on PC for what it did. So 2017 saw the release of unpacking tools to make the editing of most parts of the game easier. Editing bonfire placements, boss fights, world items, or even new equipment and spells. I don't want to come off as a dick to Dark Souls YouTubers, or calling them out, but I have to ask, where is the support for this kind of stuff? By all means, who am I to judge on the content they make for free for the community? But I just question, where's the support for the things the modding community has been doing for this loved IP, and for the iteration that kicked this fad all off. They've covered mods before, but what about these new mods that have gone past challenge or meme playthroughs? You know, when I decided to do this video, I only saw full several hour streams of the mod or simple instructions on how to download and install. As far as I looked, I never saw a review, impression, or check this out kind of format video. Maybe people have moved on from Dark Souls' YouTube trend, and I may be coming late to it. But so be it. Let's just try this. So, if you haven't realized, Dark Souls 1 has been receiving mods to actually make significant changes to your future playthroughs. I'm not saying old challenge run mods were bad, but that's all I saw them as. It was the same Dark Souls, but with a new gimmick, whether it be Black Phantom enemies, enemy or weapon randomizers, or first-person mode. I am someone who has hit burnout with the series for the past couple years, even becoming bored with 3 where I haven't even finished the Ring City. While some of these mods have, dare I say, rekindled my interest in Dark Souls. At the start of this year came a new mod called Daughters of Ash. It got a slight nod in the gaming news space, but nothing major. This video is not about that mod. Maybe sometime later. Instead, let's look at another mod that has been out for quite a while and is still receiving updates. It's called Prepare to Die Again. It's by Nexus uploader Lionblade Studio / FT Richter, whichever you would prefer to go by. Also, yes, for a lot of the footage I am using other graphical mods, such as this lovely 2B model replacement, and this awesome loading GIF. Don't shame me. The best way to think of Prepare to Die Again is that it's a modder's treatment that Dark Souls 2 got with the Scholar of the First Sin edition. Not a drastic overhaul, but a vanilla-friendly remix of the game. Changing up mob and boss encounters, moving bonfires, even adding new spells and equipment. Depending on your skill level or perspective, many of these changes can be a benefit or detriment to your experience. Some changes can be seen as making an encounter easier, keeping the same level of difficulty, or maybe even making you curse the mod maker and call him a cunt. Much love to you, man. Thank you still for getting my interest back in this series. The world is familiar, but new in its own ways, such as making use of underutilized enemies, like those damn red-tongue fetishists in the Darkroot Garden, adding new NPC enemies, or even adding cut content enemies. Hell, the mod even gives the average player the opportunity to reliably encounter a vagrant, the mythical crab gods of Lordran. If this is your first time actually coming across this mob, make sure to pray to the almighty Dark Crab Lords by offering yourself and join the cult of the crab. Sorry, not sorry. I wrote this portion before I knew about the crab meme, and when I finally decided to do this video, I thought, why the hell not? There are some questionable changes, to me at least. Like some bonfire changes just put me through a loop thinking, where the fuck is the bonfire? I have 1 chug of Estus, afflicted with toxin, and I have over 50k souls. There are only a few bonfire changes I actually dislike as I find them completely inconvenient for the player, but maybe that was the intention of the change. To have some bonfire placements to really be a place to rest and go forward from. It's nitpicky, but doesn't ruin my overall experience in my playthrough. The mod also comes with an optional Easy or Gravelord Phantom mode. Nothing really else to add to that except it's an easy mode that removes some enemies. And Black Phantom enemy mode. There we go. The most recent version added Remastered support along with many new changes, including remixed starting classes, new spells, and rings. The remixed classes are nothing too drastic, just some changes to perhaps make your early hours not as routine, like giving the Knight a spear, woo. The new rings though can be quite interesting, but feel kinda limiting. There are several rings that play around with how the Ring of Favor handled, powerful but breaking upon removing. Like, you can find a couple of crystal rings that add about 25% attack rating at the cost of faster item degradation or a combined blue and red-eyed Tearstone ring. There is even a ring that grants a perma flame buff to your right hand weapon at the cost of losing 50% of your acquired souls. The new spells are also fun. There are a number that introduce magic that was in the later games, but there are some new additions that are good and some questionable. I wasn't really optimal in my build during my time, but I kinda wanted to try out things in this playthrough. More exciting is that the mod author is still working on this, and at the time of making this video from the mod page, his next update should be a huge rebalance update to the game. And it should be glorious because Dark Souls 1 balance is atrocious. If you care about me spoiling more surprises in the mod, skip to here. You ready? Some of the great times I have had include, but not limited to, running out of Estus and not knowing where the next bonfire is, moving the Elite Knight set, and where at the time of writing this script I had yet to find, more shitlord cat monsters that also respawn, surprise raped by a stone knight during the butterfly fight, silver archers on the rafters in Orlando, and I'll be honest, I cried a little on the inside when I saw the situation, and many more examples of misery. A few of the pleasant surprises in the mod was the removal of the giant dragon asses in Lost Izalith. The game gave me a Boulder Swag sword as well as a guaranteed world pickup. I love you, man, for this. Lost Izalith also gave me the ability to bully fat kids into fighting demons for me. I consider these positives to make up for all the additional pain. Except for maybe one part. My least favorite part of this mod has to be the Bed of Chaos boss fight. While I give a thumbs up on creativity and turning a generally dull fight into a more active and challenging one, I can't really say I enjoy it when it involves kiting 2 invincible NPCs where one also has infinite pyromancy casts. Who knows? Maybe I fucked something up in the installation, but I fucking did it, and boy was it just painful. Alright, done with the fun surprises. You can find this mod and the unpacking tool all on Nexus Mods. The links will be in the description. Installation is fairly simple. You can pretty much just follow the instructions on the Prepare to Die Again page on your chosen method of installation. It can be simple and just use the drag and drop manager, but that tool is incompatible when the archives are unpacked. Instead, I just recommend having a fresh Dark Souls install and using the unpacking tool. And save a backup of that Dark Souls folder. to have a vanilla game folder at the ready when you want to change overhaul mods. If you at all have any problems, if there's a need, I can try to make a future video on how I set things up. It's very simple though. Side note, I recommend not playing online with gameplay altering mods unless explicitly stated on the mod page that it can be supported. Only with a friend as well. Since the game world is affected, there will be conflicts. If the client doesn't have the mod, your experiences may vary. I wouldn't know. I don't have friends to try this out with. You have been warned. If you're still here, thanks for watching. I hope I could have sparked your interest in Dark Souls 1 again with this footage and commentary, and in a new light. Dark Souls 1 will always be a great game, but with its own flaws. And while this mod won't give a brand new game playthrough, it will be a refreshing little spin on your next one. By the way, the author has another game overhaul mod called Breath of the Soul. From the title and description, it's his idea of Dark Souls, but with some borrowed ideas from Breath of the Wild. Those include things like weapon durability. I haven't tried it yet. It'll be something I look into. Dark Souls modding just seems to be in a great spot right now, with many gameplay overmods coming to give fans new playthroughs that go beyond just randomizers or memes. Like the earlier mentioned Daughters of Ash, there's also other mods like the Scorched Contract or the Age of Chaos. I can't wait to see what more is done with this game, and I hope the later games also get this modding treatment. Depending on whether this video is received well or gets any traction, I may make another video on this kind of stuff. I did this out of boredom and found it disheartening that the efforts of these mod makers aren't talked about more. Thanks again for watching. I'd appreciate feedback.